Right now, invisible satellites circle the Earth at 500 kilometers. They don't carry weapons. They don't spy on civilians. They carry something far more dangerous: unbreakable encryption. And the world's most powerful banks are already using it. Every second, $6.6 trillion moves through global financial networks. Every byte of it, theoretically, can be cracked. Until now, every byte of our global wealth has been at risk. A new financial internet is being built, and almost no one knows it exists. Quantum key distribution uses individual photons to encode financial data. If anyone intercepts the signal, the laws of physics destroy it instantly. It cannot be hacked, it cannot be copied, it cannot be broken. This is not science fiction. It launched last year. The Bank for International Settlements, the IMF, the Federal Reserve, they don't announce their quantum upgrades. But their satellite contracts tell the story. Trillions of dollars are already moving through quantum-secured channels. What you're about to see has never been explained to the public. A secret financial internet, built on satellites powered by quantum physics. Nations are racing to control it. The one who wins controls the global economy. In 2016, China launched Michus, the world's first quantum satellite. By 2023, it had transmitted unbreakable encrypted financial signals across 7,600 kilometers. The race had already begun, and China was winning. The United States responded with classified urgency. DARPA launched Project Quasar, Quantum Satellite Architecture for Financial Resilience. The briefings described a singular goal: no foreign power should control the quantum layer of global finance. Private companies entered the race. By 2025, at least 6 quantum-ready satellite payloads had reached orbit from commercial launch providers. Quantum key distribution works at the level of physics, not software. Each quantum satellite costs between $50 million and $300 million to build and launch. The UK's National Quantum Strategy allocated $2.5 billion. Their priority number 1 was financial sector security. A quantum satellite constellation doesn't follow trade routes. It covers the entire Earth, including regions with zero fiber infrastructure. Geography is no longer destiny. Pacific Island nations hold some of the world's most strategic financial data. The United States responded with classified urgency. The briefings described a singular goal. Private companies entered the race, equivalent to nuclear command and control networks. It is the cleanest weapon ever conceived. This is not science fiction. It launched last year, but their satellite contracts tell the story. As an island nation, Japan relies entirely on undersea cables for financial communication. 3 nation-state cyber attack units attempted to intercept quantum financial channels in 2024. The encryption destroyed itself before a single bit could be stolen. The science that cracked the atom is now protecting the atom of global finance, the transaction. At CERN, they proved satellite-based quantum entanglement could distribute keys across continents. The experiment became a product. The product became a mandate. Hong Kong sits at the intersection of Western finance and Chinese infrastructure. Whoever wins controls the encryption layer for $5 trillion in annual cross-strait transactions. It is the most valuable satellite ground station on Earth. Military planners now treat quantum financial satellites as strategic infrastructure, equivalent to nuclear command and control networks. Disabling an enemy's quantum financial satellite means disabling their economy. It is the cleanest weapon ever conceived. Private wealth is moving into the quantum layer faster than sovereign funds. Families managing assets over $100 billion have already migrated their transaction authentication. No public record, no swift trace, no intercept. Offshore financial centers were the first private adopters of quantum satellite links. Cayman, British Virgin Islands, Liechtenstein. A photon travels from satellite to Earth in 1.7 milliseconds. By 2026, 47 quantum communication satellites are in active orbit. They are not a network by accident. They were designed as a system by a small group of architects who have never been named. This is the story of how the invisible network was built. The theoretical foundation was laid in 1984, BB-84 protocol. Bennett and Broussard proved quantum keys could be physically unbreakable. For 15 years, it was considered academic curiosity. Then a banker read the paper, and everything changed. The meeting was in 2001, Lower Manhattan, 3 weeks after the towers fell. A senior J.P. Morgan executive had commissioned a vulnerability study. The conclusion: existing encryption would eventually fail. The quantum paper sat on the table. The bankers were listening. A classified research program was funded by a consortium of financial institutions in 2002. No government involvement, no academic publication. Their mission, adapt quantum key distribution for satellite transmission. The program ran for 7 years before its first successful test. The first private quantum communication satellite was launched in 2009 from an undisclosed Pacific location by an unlisted company. The satellite was deregistered as a technology demonstrator. It transmitted encrypted financial keys for 11 months before being deorbited. In 2011, the Bank for International Settlements voted to fund a pilot quantum satellite program. The vote was unanimous. The minutes were classified for 10 years. The pilot would become the foundation of the current global quantum financial network. The 63-member central banks all eventually joined. Toshiba Research became one of the primary hardware architects. Their breakthrough, a quantum emitter small enough to fit on a CubeSat. Previously, quantum hardware required a room-sized apparatus. Now it fit inside a shoebox and could survive space. ID Quantique, a Geneva startup, built the quantum random number generators. These chips don't just create encryption keys, they create keys from quantum vacuum fluctuations, mathematically unpredictable, physically non-reproducible. No supercomputer, quantum or classical, can predict what they generate. The satellites are built in compartmentalized sections. The quantum payload is built by one team, the bus by another, the software by a third. No single engineer knows the complete design. This is standard practice for national security hardware, and these are national security satellites. The undersea cable industry moves $10 trillion per day. The companies that own those cables are not neutral infrastructure providers. They are intelligence assets, actively monitored and occasionally tapped. Quantum satellites were designed specifically to bypass them. Intelligence agencies confronted an unprecedented problem in 2023. For the first time in modern history, they could detect that financial communications were occurring, but could not read them at all. Quantum encryption had created financial intelligence blind spots. The NSA's response was characteristically methodical. If they couldn't read the content, could they learn from the pattern? Transaction timing, volume, satellite beam direction, signal strength. Even with quantum encryption, financial intelligence remained partially possible. China's Pan Jianwei is called the father of quantum. His team at the University of Science and Technology achieved the impossible. Quantum entanglement maintained across 200 kilometers. That paper, published in Science in 2017, was a declaration of technological supremacy. At the 2023 G7 Finance Minister Summit, a classified annex was added to the communiqué. It dealt with quantum financial infrastructure coordination. The annex was never published, but 3 diplomatic cables leaked its core recommendation: standardize quantum financial protocols before 2027. In January 2024, 12 central bank governors met privately in the Swiss mountains. No official record, no press statement. Their agenda: agree on a common quantum satellite financial protocol. They left with an unsigned agreement, enforced only by shared interest. Managing a quantum satellite constellation is unlike managing conventional satellites. Quantum channels exist only during line-of-sight contact windows, typically 5 to 10 minutes per pass. Every second of that window must be used with perfect precision. A 1 millisecond timing error destroys the entire key exchange. The entire quantum financial network is synchronized by atomic clocks, accurate to 300 nanoseconds across all nodes globally. This timing precision isn't just technical elegance, it's the foundation of financial integrity. Every transaction has a quantum-verified timestamp. Global commodity trade, oil, grain, metals, relies on instantaneous payment confirmation. A compromised payment confirmation can paralyze port operations. Quantum-secured transactions made a first appearance in petroleum trade settlement in 2023. The oil market will never look the same. The cryptocurrency industry faces an existential quantum threat. Every Bitcoin, every Ethereum transaction, secured by elliptic curve cryptography. A sufficiently powerful quantum computer breaks that in seconds. The race to migrate crypto to quantum-resistant protocols has begun, urgently. In 2024, NIST published its final post-quantum cryptography standards, 3 algorithms, designed to resist attacks from quantum computers. Banks were given a 5-year migration window. Most began immediately, because waiting is not an option. The hardware choke point of the quantum financial network is the photon emitter chip. Currently, fewer than 5 companies in the world manufacture them at commercial scale. Samsung, Toshiba, ID Quantique, 2 undisclosed Chinese state manufacturers. Whoever controls the chip supply controls the network. Quantum photonics requires rare earth elements: erbium, europium, neodymium. China controls 85% of global rare earth refining capacity. They recognized early that controlling the raw materials means controlling the network. The quantum financial internet has a supply chain, and China sits at its beginning. Taiwan Semiconductor manufactures the most advanced quantum communication chips. Their fabs are 160 kilometers from mainland China. A military conflict over Taiwan is not just a geopolitical crisis. It would be a quantum financial infrastructure catastrophe, disconnecting the global economy overnight. The Quantum Financial Network's operating system was written by a team of 40 people. None of them have ever publicly discussed their work. The protocol they designed manages key distribution for 1,000 simultaneous financial connections. It is the most complex piece of financial infrastructure software ever written. Liechtenstein hosts 17 sovereign wealth accounts from undisclosed nations. Combined value, estimated 2.4 trillion. Every transaction now moves through a quantum-secured satellite channel. The discretion that made Liechtenstein famous is now mathematically enforced. Ultra-high net worth individuals have purchased private quantum satellite uplink contracts, not renting capacity on a shared network, owning a dedicated quantum channel, point-to-point, exclusive, unmonitorable. The price of entry, $40 million per year. The reinsurance industry carries the risk of the entire global insurance market. Their models and the premiums they generate are the most sensitive data in finance. Quantum satellite channels protect $25 trillion in reinsurance exposure data. A leak would destabilize insurance markets globally. Quantum channels degrade with distance. Photons are lost to atmospheric interference. Low Earth orbit, at 400 to 600 kilometers, is the quantum sweet spot. GEO satellites at 36,000 kilometers cannot support quantum key distribution. This is why the financial quantum network is a LEO constellation, not a GEO system. The current quantum satellite network has 14 coverage gaps, windows where no satellite is overhead. During those windows, quantum-secured transactions must pause or route via backup channels. Backup channels are not quantum secured. The race to launch is really a race to eliminate every gap in the armor. The next breakthrough is quantum memory, the ability to store a quantum key in a crystal and retrieve it later. This eliminates coverage gaps entirely. The key waits until the channel is ready. 3 labs are within 18 months of a commercially deployable quantum memory device. The ISS hosted a quantum communications experiment for ESA in 2023. The results proved quantum channels can operate continuously in space with minimal photon loss. The ISS isn't just a research station anymore. It is a proof of concept for the first orbital quantum financial relay node. Quantum satellite transactions have created a legal void. If a quantum channel fails mid-transaction, who bears responsibility? The satellite operator? The ground station? The bank? No legal precedent exists. No court has ruled. No treaty governs it. The United Nations attempted to pass a quantum financial communications governance treaty in 2024. It failed 3 times, vetoed by permanent Security Council members. Each veto came from a nation already operating its own quantum financial satellite network. Governance would mean oversight, and oversight means limits on power. The ITU governs orbital slots, the precise positions satellites occupy in space. Quantum financial satellites need specific orbital inclinations for maximum ground coverage. The best slots are being claimed simultaneously by multiple nations. The space above us is becoming as contested as the oceans below. 1,240 financial institutions, 47 satellites, a single invisible network. The architects built it in plain sight, using science papers, satellite registrations, and corporate filings. And yet, it remains invisible to the public. Part 3 begins where the architect's plan started to fracture. In November 2024, a quantum satellite ground station was destroyed. The attack happened at 3:14 a.m. 6 minutes later, $400 billion in pending transactions were suspended. No group claimed responsibility, no country was officially blamed, but the message was understood by every financial capital on Earth. The financial markets did not crash, they froze. For 47 minutes, $400 billion in transactions were held in quantum limbo. The backup systems worked, but barely. The financial world now understood. The quantum network had a physical vulnerability. 3 intelligence agencies independently attributed the attack. Their findings were consistent, but the attribution was never made public, because naming the attacker would require acknowledging the network's existence, and acknowledging the network would expose its purpose. Military planners have a term for it: financial constriction. The deliberate disruption of an adversary's quantum financial channels. No missiles, no invasion, just a strategic satellite ground station attack. The targeted economy goes dark, trade stops, currency collapses. Ground-based lasers can blind a quantum satellite without destroying it. A blinded satellite cannot establish a photon link. The quantum channel fails silently. The attack leaves no debris, no evidence, no attribution. It is the perfect financial weapon, and 3 nations currently possess it. After the ground station attack, the network operators made emergency design changes. Every new quantum satellite now carries triple redundant photon emitters, hardened against directed energy weapons, shielded against electromagnetic pulse. The quantum satellite of 2025 is a warship in disguise. A dozen startups are racing to build the quantum network that can't be destroyed. Decentralized. No central ground station, no single point of failure. Each satellite a full node. Self-rooting, self-healing. The next generation of quantum financial infrastructure is being built in Silicon Valley garages. In April 2025, a foreign satellite performed a controlled proximity maneuver. It came within 200 meters of an active quantum financial satellite, close enough to physically damage it, close enough to harvest its photon emissions. The Space Command response time was 4 minutes. The satellite survived, this time. The most sophisticated attack vector isn't the satellite, it's the chip. A firmware implant in a quantum photonics chip can introduce a subtle bias in key generation, undetectable for months. Keys appear random, but aren't. An adversary with the bias function can decrypt every transaction in the network. In 2024, a firmware anomaly was discovered in a batch of quantum photonics chips. The batch had already been integrated into 4 satellites. 3 were deorbited immediately. 1 had already transmitted 60 days of financial keys. Those keys were assumed compromised. $3 trillion in transactions were retrospectively flagged. The chip supply chain became the most protected in the world, overnight. Armed escorts for shipments, air-gapped fabrication lines, quantum verification of every chip. The cost tripled. The schedule lengthened by 8 months. But a compromised chip in orbit is worth more to an adversary than any missile. The first quantum financial espionage case was filed in international arbitration in 2025. A sovereign wealth fund alleged that a foreign state agency had compromised their quantum channel. The technical evidence was unprecedented. The legal framework didn't exist. The tribunal requested 18 months to develop appropriate jurisprudence. The South China Sea is more than a shipping lane. It is the world's most contested quantum financial signal space. 3 competing nations' quantum satellites pass overhead in the same orbital window. Each can detect the other's transmissions. None can read them. All are trying. Taiwan has wargamed the financial effects of a naval blockade extensively. In a blockade scenario, undersea fiber cables are cut within 72 hours. Their quantum satellite channels become the only link to the global financial system. Taiwan's economic survival depends on those satellites staying operational. Russia's military doctrine now includes quantum financial channel interdiction as a first strike option. Not nuclear, not conventional. Simply blind the enemy's quantum financial satellites at the start of a conflict. Their economy begins failing within 72 hours. No bombs required. The Bank of England conducted its first quantum disruption stress test in 2024. Scenario: all quantum financial channels go dark for 48 hours. Result: UK financial markets would lose 19% of value in the first day. The stress test was classified. The conclusion wasn't shared publicly. The Federal Reserve identified a critical paradox in 2025. The quantum financial network was created to provide security, but it had created a new dependency and a new vulnerability. The stronger the encryption, the more critical the channel. The more critical, the more worth attacking. Lloyd's of London now offers quantum satellite war risk coverage. Premium, $180 million per year per satellite. 17 satellites in the quantum financial network are insured for potential hostile action. The remaining 30 are, officially, self-insured. The next evolution is instantaneous settlement, not 2-second transactions, not millisecond transactions, 0 seconds. Using quantum entanglement, two parties can confirm a transaction simultaneously at any distance. The technology is real. The deployment timeline is classified. High-frequency trading generates $15 billion per year, exploiting microsecond settlement gaps. Quantum instantaneous settlement eliminates those gaps entirely. The HFT industry faces existential disruption from quantum finance. Their response: buy stakes in quantum settlement companies before the disruption arrives. The IMF has been running classified models since 2023. Their core concern: what happens if only some nations have quantum financial access? They're finding the quantum divide may be more economically destabilizing than the digital divide. Nations without quantum access become financially invisible, unable to participate in the new system. Africa's financial technology sector is developing quantum-ready mobile payment infrastructure, not waiting for Western banks to build it for them. Using low-cost satellite terminals and simplified quantum key protocols, 1 billion people entering the quantum financial system from the ground up. Central bank digital currencies and quantum satellites are converging. A CBDC transmitted via quantum satellite is the most secure form of currency ever created. No private bank intermediary, no Western financial rails, direct sovereign control. 134 nations are developing CBDCs. Most are planning quantum channel integration. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency because it controls the financial rails. SWIFT, correspondent banking, the clearing system. China's quantum satellite plus digital yuan combination bypasses all of it. This is not a currency challenge. It is a financial infrastructure revolution. At the 2024 BRICS Summit, a quantum financial communications protocol was formally proposed, a system connecting BRICS member economies via dedicated quantum satellite channels, independent of Western-controlled financial infrastructure. The combined GDP of BRICS nations, 27 trillion. The dollar's dominance is at stake. The U.S. Space Force formally designated commercial quantum financial satellites as critical infrastructure. This means military protection, space-based early warning, armed response authorization. A private quantum financial satellite is now equivalent to a military asset. The line between commerce and warfare has been erased in orbit. Multiple nations now have the capability to permanently disable quantum financial satellites. The weapon of choice? A ground-based directed energy system, a high-power laser, tested, deployed, aimed. The mutual destruction principle now applies in orbit as much as on the ground. The crisis simulation ran for 72 hours, 3 satellites taken offline simultaneously. The financial system shifted to backup classical encryption channels. Every transaction was theoretically vulnerable for 72 hours. No one on Wall Street knew. No market moved. The secret held. In response to the ground station attack, the United States launched 2 additional quantum financial satellites, not announced, not registered on the public space track database. Orbital parameters classified. Owners undisclosed. The quantum financial network now has 2 more nodes that officially don't exist. Financial institutions began acquiring quantum satellite companies directly, not as investment, as vertical integration. If you own the satellite, you control the encryption. If you control the encryption, you control the transaction. 7 major financial acquisitions of quantum companies occurred in 2024 alone. The major banks discovered they had outsourced their quantum security to a single vendor. 78% dependency on one provider. If that provider was attacked, acquired, or failed, their entire quantum infrastructure collapsed. Vertical integration became an emergency priority. In March 2025, 3 undersea cables were cut in the Red Sea region. Classical internet was disrupted for millions, but the quantum satellite financial channels, unaffected. For the first time, the satellite network justified its $40 billion price tag in a single event. For landlocked nations with hostile neighbors, quantum satellites are a lifeline. Mongolia, Bhutan, Bolivia, Lesotho, one antenna, one quantum channel, one link to global trade. Without it, they are financially isolated. With it, they are indestructible. Moody's introduced the Quantum Readiness Index in 2025, a new factor in sovereign credit ratings. Nations with quantum financial infrastructure score higher. Their borrowing costs decrease. Nations without it face a new form of financial penalty, a quantum premium on debt. In the worst moment of the financial crisis, when classical channels were compromised, the quantum channel became the only trusted link between adversaries. 2 hostile nations, 1 quantum satellite, 1 conversation that prevented collapse. This is what the network was truly built for, not profit, survival. What you've witnessed is not the future. It is the present, already operational, already reshaping every transaction on Earth. The quantum financial internet exists, right now, above your head, and the decisions being made in its orbit will determine the next century. In May 2025, a historic agreement was reached behind closed doors. Not a treaty, not a protocol. A working arrangement, enforced by mutual quantum dependency. 23 nations agreed to a common quantum financial security standard. The first global financial agreement that only physicists fully understand. The Quantum Financial Protocol is the new TCP/IP, the underlying language of a parallel financial internet. It doesn't replace the existing system, it overlays it. A secure, sovereign quantum layer that governments can trust and adversaries cannot penetrate. The quantum repeater breakthrough came on March 7, 2025. A quantum key successfully relayed through a ground-based repeater station. Coverage gaps eliminated. Continuous quantum financial communication achieved. The network became complete, for the first time in its history. On April 1, 2025, the New York Stock Exchange completed full quantum channel integration. Every trade, every settlement, quantum secured. The irony of the date was not lost on the engineers. The most consequential upgrade in financial history, launched on April Fool's Day. The generation currently in high school will manage this network. They will understand intuitively that money flows through physics, that a photon is as important as a dollar. They will be the architects of the next stage, and they haven't started yet. Universities across 14 countries now offer degrees in quantum financial systems. The first graduating class enters the workforce in 2026. They will speak both languages, the language of money and the language of physics. They are the bilingual citizens of the quantum financial world. Global remittances total $860 billion per year. Currently, $60 billion is lost to fees, taken by banks and transfer services. Quantum satellite direct settlement eliminates the intermediary. $60 billion returned to the families who earned it. $60 billion returned to the families who earned it. Quantum encryption creates a paradox for financial crime enforcement. Transactions are authenticated with absolute certainty, but their content is opaque. Intelligence agencies know a transaction occurred. They know when and how much, but they cannot know why or who ultimately benefits. FATF is developing the first quantum financial compliance framework. The core challenge: how do you verify a transaction without reading it? Their answer is elegant. Verify the parties, not the content. Quantum identity authentication confirms who transacted. Physics protects what was transacted. FATF is developing the first quantum financial compliance framework. The core challenge: how do you verify a transaction without reading it? In a smart city, every transaction is automated and quantum secured. Your lease renewal, your utility payment, your taxes, financial transactions that span millions of kilometers. The quantum satellite network of 2025 is the seed of an interplanetary financial system. The world's largest sovereign wealth funds have completed quantum migration. Norway, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, Singapore. Combined, $8 trillion in assets now under quantum satellite protection. The greatest concentration of wealth in history behind the strongest walls ever built. An ordinary day on the quantum financial internet: $14.7 trillion, 12 million transactions, 0 security incidents. The most secure financial day in the history of money, and no one in the public saw a single headline about it. In a smart city, every transaction is automated and quantum secured. Your lease renewal, your utility payment, your taxes, all confirmed by a photon traveling from a satellite 500 kilometers above you. The financial system becomes invisible because it becomes perfect. The first central bank digital currency issued via quantum satellite channel completed successfully. No commercial bank involved, no clearinghouse, no delay. Sovereign money, created and delivered with the authority of physics. The central bank of the 21st century operates at the speed of light. Sovereign money, created and delivered with the authority of physics. The central bank of the 21st century operates at the speed of light. Sovereign money, created and delivered with the authority of physics. The central bank of the 21st century operates at the speed of light. An ordinary day on the quantum financial internet. $14.7 trillion, 12 million transactions, zero security incidents. The most secure financial day in the history of money, and no one in the public saw a single headline about it. An ordinary day on the quantum financial internet. $14.7 trillion, 12 million transactions, zero security incidents. The 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded for quantum key distribution for satellite networks. The award citation mentioned its application to financial communications. Physics had finally been given the recognition it deserved for saving the global economy without the global economy knowing it needed saving. Physics had finally been given the recognition it deserved for saving the global economy without the global economy knowing it needed saving. Every 43 days, a new quantum financial satellite is launched. The constellation grows, the coverage improves, the gaps close. Each launch is a statement that the world intends to protect its financial system. Every launch is a quiet act of sovereignty. Each launch is a statement that the world intends to protect its financial system. Every launch is a quiet act of sovereignty. Every 43 days, a new quantum financial satellite is launched. The constellation grows, the coverage improves, the gaps close. The Arctic is becoming the world's next great resource frontier. Oil, gas, rare minerals, shipping routes opened by melting ice. The nations that can transact quantum securely in the Arctic will control its future. 3 nations are already operating dedicated Arctic channels. The quantum financial internet changes how individuals relate to money. No intermediary, no correspondent bank, no 3-day clearing window. A freelancer in Bali and a client in Berlin, quantum connected, instantly settled. The geography of money is being dissolved by physics. Quantum-secured financial channels have transformed humanitarian aid delivery. No hostile interception, no theft in transit, no corrupt intermediary. $240 million to Ukraine, $180 million to Gaza, $90 million to Sudan. Physics protecting the most vulnerable. $240 million to Ukraine, $180 million to Gaza, $90 million to Sudan. Physics protecting the most vulnerable. By 2030, the quantum financial satellite constellation will reach 200 satellites, full Earth coverage, zero gaps, every nation connected. The architecture of the invisible financial internet will be complete. Every transaction on Earth secured by the laws of physics. The architecture of the invisible financial internet will be complete. Every transaction on Earth secured by the laws of physics. The IMF now requires quantum financial literacy for all central bank governor candidates. Physics is no longer optional for those who manage money. The quantum world doesn't care about economics degrees. It operates according to deeper laws, and the bankers must learn them. The 2030 quantum satellite costs $8 million, down from $300 million in 2016. Moore's law meets quantum physics. At $8 million per satellite, every nation on Earth can afford sovereign quantum financial infrastructure. The age of quantum financial equality begins. In 2025, the first Quantum Financial Commons Treaty was drafted, not by heads of state, by physicists and central bankers. The treaty treats orbital quantum infrastructure as a global common. No nation owns the photons, but every nation depends on them. The treaty treats orbital quantum infrastructure as a global common. No nation owns the photons, but every nation depends on them. An entire generation of entrepreneurs is building on the quantum financial layer. Quantum mortgages, quantum insurance, quantum supply chain financing. Applications that don't exist yet because the infrastructure is only now becoming available. The greatest entrepreneurial opportunity since the internet. The International Organization for Standardization adopted the Quantum Financial Security Standard, ISO QFS 1, the first global technical standard for quantum financial communications. Every bank, every exchange, every central bank, one standard, the Babel of quantum financial protocols unified. The quantum financial network will follow humanity into space. The first cislunar quantum financial relay is planned for 2031. Transactions between Earth and Moon, secured by quantum physics across 384,000 kilometers. Where humans go, their financial systems follow. Look at the Earth from space. What you see are cities. What you can't see is the invisible architecture above them. 47 satellites, 1,240 channels, $14.7 trillion per day. The new financial internet running on the laws of the universe itself. Final pullback to deep space perspective. Earth small but luminous against the darkness of the cosmos. Epic space pullback. Central banking is 350 years old. In 350 years, it has survived wars, depressions, and revolutions. In 10 years, quantum satellites have done what no crisis could, fundamentally rebuilt the physics of trust. In 10 years, quantum satellites have done what no crisis could, fundamentally rebuilt the physics of how trust is transmitted between institutions. Every quantum satellite begins with a single chip, placed by human hands. There is no automation for this step. Precision exceeds robotic capability. A human being, trained for years, places the most important component in the financial system. The most advanced technology depends on human hands. A human being, trained for years, places the most important component in the financial system. The most advanced technology depends on human hands. Every quantum satellite begins with a single chip placed by human hands. There is no automation for this step. Precision exceeds robotic capability. In the end, the quantum financial network is not about power or surveillance. It is about trust. The fundamental human need to believe a transaction is real, that what was promised was delivered, that what was paid arrived. A retirement pension delivered on time in full, unintercepted across 12,000 kilometers through a quantum satellite for a couple who never studied physics, but who live now inside the protection of its laws. Every launch is a promise that the financial system will be protected, that trade will continue, that trust will be maintained, that the lights in those cities will stay on. Somewhere tonight, a physicist is writing the equation that makes the next breakthrough possible. They don't know it yet. The financial world doesn't know it yet. But in 5 years, their late-night notebook will become the architecture of a new network. This is how the future is built, quietly, in the dark, one photon at a time. A single photon, smaller than an atom, faster than imagination, impossible to intercept. It carries the trust of nations, the savings of families, the trade of civilizations. This is the quantum financial internet, already here, already operating, already changing everything, and you now know it exists. Invisible satellites are already orbiting above you. They carry something far more dangerous: unbreakable encryption. Trillions move every second. Until now, it was all vulnerable. A bird's eye view reveals the scale of the secure data infrastructure. Quantum encryption changes the rules. Touch the signal, and it destroys itself. Central banks already moved first. Trillions are flowing through quantum channels. A hidden financial internet is already active across the globe, and nations are racing to control it. China launched first, establishing a powerful new frontier in space, and took the early lead. The US responded fast because control means power. Because control means power, and the Pentagon is at the center of it all. Private players entered quietly, revolutionizing the orbital landscape. The money behind them stays hidden. Engineers carefully load the quantum satellite module into the fairing. The old system runs on cables, and cables can be easily attacked. And cables can be attacked. Switzerland tested it early, leading the way in global quantum security. Satellites removed every limitation for the Swiss National Bank. Zurich's Bahnhofstrasse, the world's most expensive street under a blanket of snow. The Gulf saw the opportunity instantly. Financial sovereignty without oversight within the Dubai Financial Center. Engineers working at Gold Sunset to install the satellite uplink terminal. The next war won't start with missiles. It starts with breaking financial systems. Engineers in full bodysuits inspecting the photon emitter array. Built to survive extreme conditions. Built to survive extreme conditions, Part 2. This network covers the entire planet. No place is off-grid anymore. No place is off-grid anymore. Part 2. One breach can expose trillions. Quantum removes that risk completely as traders race to adapt to the new reality. One breach can expose trillions. Part 2. Governments classified it and worked in the shadows. And built it in silence. And built it in silence, out of public view. Hackers tried to breach the signal, but found the doors locked by physics. Physics stopped the hack instantly, as the quantum signal collapsed. This is now military infrastructure. Control it. Control economies. A general points at a specific satellite contact window on the screen. A single photon travels in milliseconds. Carrying unbreakable trust. Part 2. A beam of light visually connecting the satellite to a ground station far below. $1.2 trillion, one transaction. And you were never meant to know.